Welcome back to Machine Universe. Today, ice turns roads into a nerve test. One wrong move, and everything changes fast. Stay close. This gets intense. Whole highway turned into a rink in seconds.
Ja, men jeg skal lage en snutte da, så send. Det fikk jeg på. Det får jeg på video. Da er den.
A routine tow in Nordland, Norway turned into a nightmare scenario. The lorry drifted just inches too far right, dragging the rescue vehicle into the abyss. Miraculously, the tow driver bailed out mid-slide, and the lorry driver actually survived the drop.
Wow! Oh.
Rough day for both drivers.
Zdravíme i tento kraj. Zdravíme všechny.
Prosím, prosím, ne, prosím, ne, prosím, ne.
Přišli z prosince, pekla. Jo, vyplo se vám to.
Michal Kalančík. Každý všední den, 9 až 12.
Highway D5 in the Czech Republic turned into a parking lot instantly. Police counted 20 cars and 16 trucks tangled up. It is a miracle only 6 people were hurt given the sheer amount of heavy steel and momentum involved here. When the forecast predicts a total whiteout on the mountain pass, this is the hardware they deploy. The Overossen UPV 450 is pretty much the first line of defense against prolonged road closures. Cold starts on these older Cummins rigs always put on a show regardless of whatever happens to be nearby. Looks like someone misjudged the clearance here. Those hydraulic lines are doing a lot of heavy lifting today. Pretty impressive for a smaller setup on such a steep highway. The driver's brave, Ural is tough and solid. Running on nuclear power changes the game completely here. It's basically carving a highway for the Arctica 2 right behind it.
Я не знаю, как по поводу гази, тут включать огонь, чтобы...
Those guys walking right under the suspended LTM 1200 are playing a dangerous game. If a sling snaps or the rig shifts even an inch, they're done for. Fifth wheel failure sending a heavy trailer straight through those overhead lights on a turn. Inches away from a total disaster because of that black ice. He's probably on summer tires because everyone else is driving normally. Never imagined seeing a chopper pull off a cleaning job like certain pilots do.
E aí, meu filho, bobado.
They activated the air suspension to align the load. Unfortunately, it didn't work. They then tried pulling it with a tractor unit, but the steel cable snapped. Looking at how that tow truck is rigged up, you have to worry about the attachment points. Some claim he's pulling from the hydraulic floor instead of the chassis, which is a massive gamble with gravity. Driver's just a passenger at this point. That thing is gone.
You gotta make another run!
Finally getting the driveway opened up. It takes a machine this size to really move that heavy, deep snow.
Y visítalo, ese está en Hyperlapse. ¿Bien? Yo no voy a grabar en esta ocasión todas las cosas.
Even seasoned truckers break a sweat on Las Caracoles Pass. With 29 hairpin turns and no guardrails, it's earned its title as the world's most dangerous route. Notice how the power setup works here? The chassis carries a massive engine right behind the cab, dedicated just to the D470 blower. It's a dual-engine setup designed for one thing, making sure absolutely nothing stops the auger from spinning through those heavy drifts. Weight distribution on these 6x6 units gets tricky once the ground turns into soft slush. In Germany, vehicles like that wouldn't even pass inspection. They wouldn't be allowed on the road because of the exhaust.
No, váyase, que ese carro de vuelta. No, ese carro va para abajo. No.
Seeing the driver jump out just in time is such a relief.
Đường nó nghiêng quá các bạn ơi. Quá là gay cấn đoạn này các bạn này. Đây. Ui ui. Không biết có được không các bạn ơi.
That drainage ditch on the corner is nasty for wide turns. Putting some planks down or leveling it out beforehand probably would have kept the wheels from dropping in like that.
Đó. Tất cả các phương tiện là hai. Đó, các bạn thấy chưa? Thôi. Lớn thì phải chờ rồi. Bác Tài tiếp tục di chuyển rồi các bạn này. Đó, cua cuối cùng để kết thúc cái chặng đường trên đèo Hải Vân.
Вот, вмерзла машина в речку на операцию. Машина замерзшая.
Extreme Russian winters turn soft riverside soil into a concrete hard trap for any heavy-duty vehicle crossing through.
По самый час будем.
Just a Sierra 4R4 having some genuine fun out in the cold.
Program bekerja mana tekan? Iya. Bener betul. Program bekerja buat itu misalnya pelatih mah.
Wondering if a second tractor might be necessary to keep the rear end from sliding further down. It looks like the trailer may not have been fully braked. Winter roads and heavy trailers, definitely not a fun mix for any driver. These old things are absolute monsters. The heaviest truck with the biggest tires usually wins. Hard to imagine a tractor losing a fight against snow. Locals mention that despite the extreme hazards shown here, the paychecks often don't reflect the life or death risks involved. Anyone who's fixed anything with moving parts knows this feeling. The efficiency of this diagonal formation is undeniable. It clears the pavement in a single sweep. The downside creates a different headache, though. All that displaced snow forms massive walls on the shoulder, often burying exits and driveways that people just shovel. Absolute nightmare fuel for anyone in logistics.
Oh shit. Awesome. That wasn't so bad.
Cab looks like a total write-off, but seeing the tank intact after dropping 5 stories is actually impressive engineering.
наоборот, бачиш? On top.
This looks awesome, man. For sale, one cat dump truck, never driven and only dropped once. You wouldn't guess it, but the cargo inside was actually meat and survived completely fine. The trailer just needed some pallets to stand up. People claim even expensive SUVs struggle in conditions like these. It really comes down to whether raw power or just better grip is the answer. Let's see the attempt. Some folks think this is just a training ground, but that struggle looks pretty genuine to me. If this is just practice, I'd hate to see what a real bad day at work looks like for these guys.
Байтер, черный! Шат, Байтер! Давай, 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 давай!
Don't fall asleep at the wheel. The road doesn't forgive mistakes.
Оп! Оп! Болно! О! Я бұл азамат тартқан.
Attempting to cut through a moving trailer is a bold way to discover how physics works. Even covered in frost, that sleek silver bodywork looks more like a high-end supercar than a utility vehicle. That is the raw force of 531 horsepower at work. Based on the description, this implies a test run for a Niva with modified tires. It's interesting to see how different setups handle winter conditions.
Вот мы видим, машина
Может быть, я ее как бы немножко изглазил.
Massive respect for anyone navigating logging trucks in these conditions. One wrong move, and gravity takes over regardless of how much power you
Склон
have.
еще очень крутой. На этот узлобочек надо подняться. Ну что?
Imagine sitting at a red light and seeing a giant truck tire rolling full speed toward your front bumper. Situations like this are exactly why winter driving gets such a bad rep. My best guess is that the crane was at too steep of an angle and turned too fast.
Where's that little boat?
I don't know. Not gonna lie, you had me until I saw the dozer pulling it.
Take a do.
Man, that mud is way deeper than it looks. Bet he also thought it was just a small puddle. Winter roads can be super tricky like that. Whoever is driving the van behind is incredibly brave or just crazy. One slip from the heavy hauler and they are basically toast. Incredible off-road capability. Most drivers would be freaking out in his place. Big Liebherr helping out a smaller one. You don't see these tandem setups on the side of the road every day.
Ага, все.
Tough spot for any rig, even one built for the Arctic like that yellow beast. In real life here, no one turned on hazards during braking. Lovely old F88 crying out to be restored. A legend of a truck. Appreciate you spending time here on Machine Universe. If you enjoyed the chaos, feel free to subscribe. And if not, thanks anyway. Glad you stopped by.